It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Ratlaga. It is that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following up for you today have advanced. Here's your lunchtime update. Your lunchtime update for today is coming from KwaPhindangene in Ulundi, the homestead of the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. This is where we find eNCA Dan Moyane. But Dan, a day to the funeral, and we understand an hour before his mortal remains are brought home. What can you and the team there tell us?
Good afternoon, Masego. We understand already that some members of the family of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, in the form of his son Zuzifa and a great-grandson, have already arrived at the KwaPhindangene funeral parlor in Ulundi. Meanwhile, inside here, KwaPhindangene, earlier we saw those 5 vehicles from KwaPhindangene funerals who are coming here to fetch a family delegation. They'll be taking them down to the funeral parlor a little bit later to begin that procession. But for now, just to give our viewers a sense what is happening, let's connect with Spamandla Goke, who is outside the KwaPhindangene funeral parlor, just for him to give us a sense of what is happening there right now. Good afternoon, Ngome. Here at KwaPhindangene, the family is still inside. KwaPhindangene vehicles, 5 of them in fact are still here, but there is some action already happening where you are. Just tell us about that.
Well, the son of the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, Prince Zuzifa Ntuthuko Buthelezi, has just left KwaPhindangene funeral, the mortuary here in Ulundi, which is about 30 minutes away from KwaPhindangene, and he had just come here to prepare the body of his late father before it's taken to KwaPhindangene, the homestead here. He has just told me that as he's going to where you are, brother, he will be fetching other family members, and he will be coming here leading the family delegation to fetch the body of his late father. He has just confirmed to eNCA that at 5 o'clock today there will be a prayer service at home. He said to me, we are welcome to cover that. He said it will start at 5 p.m. After the body has arrived at home, then they will have that service. After that prayer service, it will be a private session for the family. He was very emotional because he came here to prepare his father's body, to make sure that he brought the clothes that were basically carried by one of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's grandsons who came here with Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi. They have just left. They should be there in the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes. After that, a family delegation from KwaPhindangene, accompanied by Amabutho and some from the religious sector, the clergy, will come here to KwaPhindangene, to KwaPhindangene mortuary. As we see some of Amabutho here arriving, they are here to ensure that they prepare to accompany Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's body as it will be taken to KwaPhindangene from where we are. It will be a very somber moment, but in terms of culture, tradition and protocol, when Nkosi passes away, the nation is advised not to mourn for too long, not to be engulfed by grief, because the family and the nation, the Buthelezi nation or the Buthelezi clan in this case, sorry about that, the Buthelezi clan will need to be strong, because after this they will need to come together, the family will need to come together and decide on the succession issue, who takes over from Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi as Inkosi of the Buthelezi clan, because Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi ube inkosi yesizwe sakwa Buthelezi. We will see more and more of Amabutho coming here as they will be accompanying the body of the departed traditional prime minister to the Zulu nation and the Zulu monarch. It's significant that you see Amabutho here simply because Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi used to be the gap, the communicator between AmaZulu monarch and AmaZulu nation, but Amabutho would get their instructions from the king through Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. He was one of their own, even as the chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders in KwaZulu-Natal. He used to be very in close contact with Amabutho. Very soon you will see Ndunas Amabutho coming here to lead thousands of Amabutho. Some of them will not be coming to the mortuary. They will be en route along the way to KwaPhindangene. That's where some of my colleagues will be stationed to bring you that live, as we will see more and more people coming here accompanying the family. It's going to be a long drive, even though ordinarily it's a short distance between Ulundi and Mahlabathini, but due to the fact that the convoy will be comprising of too many cars, and Amabutho have already started singing here because they will not be in a somber mood. They will have to show strength and they will have to comfort the family here, and then they will be able. Let me see if I can get one of the gentlemen here who's very close and works. Uyaphila wena wenkosi? Ngiyabona ukuthi umntwana uZuzifa usefikile la, usekhuphukile, ubezolungisa umntwana wakaPhindangene. Okuzokwenzeka manje yini?
Njengamanje mfowethu wagogo sesilinde imoto phezulu kwaPhindangene bese zikulayini zamakhaza la azolanda umntwana, so ibutho liyehlalele phezulu eliningi lizohlangana la, sehlukene phakathi singamabutho. Khona ibutho elizomkhipha la uma kufika ecrossing lengena esibhedlela, lapho khona ibutho elizomemukela kuyilona elizomthatha kanye nalo lelo elizosuka lapha liphuthume phezulu kuyohlangana kube ibutho lodwa sebeyomthatha bamfake ngaphakathi mfowethu wagogo. Inkosi yakhe KwaPhindangene.
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi isikhathi esinzima lesi kuyibutho, kodwa sikho isikhathi sokukhala nokulila ngoba kufanele kutshengise ukuqina kwesizwe sakaButhelezi noZulu wonkana, kodwa khona kuyazwela ebuthweni.
Kuzwela kakhulu njengomuntu uNankulu kaZulu nanjengenkosi yakwaButhelezi nanjengosepolitiki obe nomgogodla elimele iqiniso sokuthinteka yonke imindeni nabathi abekho kwipolitiki bayisholo, ngoba uma ungakhumbula kusuka eminyakeni yama early 80s lapho thina sasihlakaniphe khona kuningi umntwana akwenza ikole nakho konke, kuningi nje sikhala ngakho kumntwana. Zimpesheni lezi namhlanje eziholwa abantu bonke, ngoba phela kwakukhona oTranskei, kukhona oSiskei, kukhona oVenda, kukhona okwaZulu. Imali le eholwa ogogo yaqala la kwaZulu, nakho konke ukufunda mahala. Ngiyakhumbula sifunda ikole ofirst year second year ukuthi sasidla mahala ezikoleni, njengoba kuthiwa imfundo yamahhala namhlanje ithine sayiqala sifunda ngama exercise ayibhalti freedom, sokuthinteka yonke imindeni. Ngakho umndeni ongathintekile.
Asikhumbuza ababukeli ke igama nesibongo wena weSilo.
Mina ngumqansa umfokashwala khona la kwesakwaButhelezi ophinda save njengekhansela lenduna yobukhosi bakhona la kwaButhelezi.
Baba siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Well, basically Bonga Mkhize will try and show you Amabutho taking their positions here. The gentleman we've just interviewed telling us what will be happening. I see there is Induna Umhlongo down there, Induna Sipho Mhlongo. Perhaps if possible I'm going to ask my colleague Sekaraba together with Bongmusa Mkhize if we can unmount this camera and go closer to Amabutho, or perhaps what I will do, I'll ask my colleague to get us Prince Mabhege Ishwa there to come and talk to us. I will explain the significance of Ishwa. I assume that you still have time to stick with us, as the gentleman was telling us that from here a certain group and section of Amabutho will be taking Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's body all the way to KwaPhindangene, and along the route there will be some people who will be stationed there. There will be some Amabutho who will be stationed there. As Bonga Mkhize stays with the visuals of this gentleman who is coming to us, his name is Ishwa. He was named by King Zwelithini Kabheka Zulu as Prince Mabheka. Prince Mabheka was honored and adopted by King Zwelithini. Our viewers will be surprised that an Indian man clad in traditional Zulu attire. Mntwana Mabheka, siyathokoza ngesikhathi sakho. Let's talk about Umntwana. You have worked with Umntwana for a very long time together with the late King Zwelithini. Today must be very emotional for you.
Siyabonga Siphamandla. Ay umhlungu kakhulu namhlanje noma sila namhlanje. Sisuka kude namuntwana Phindangene nasilo Ndlokombane. Isikhathi sila namhlanje sikhumbula onke umlando wesizwe samaZulu, and what strikes me you know that Muntwana Phindangene is such a humble soul. I've known him from such a young age when he started building schools with my spiritual head of the Divine Life Society, Sri Swami Sahajananda. In 1971, they started building schools, and 6,000 schools through that partnership have seen the province of KwaZulu-Natal receive education through these infrastructure projects. And Swami Sajananda and Montwana, they went through the length and breadth of the province. And when we look back, even the Sivananda Technical College in KwaMashu was also built. So when we look back, when one ensures that his nation receives education, and that's a milestone. So.
Just a quick one from me in closing. We're out of time. I know you honor leaders with statues and other things. Will you be building one for Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi?
Well, definitely, as the Prime Minister of the Zulu Nation, we must honor the legacy of Montwana and what he has done for the Zulu Nation.
Thank you very much for your time. That is the issue known as Prince Mapeka. I want to bring in the mayor of Ulundi. Siyathokoza kakhulu baba isikhathi sakho bengicela uphenduke nje ubuke ngapha ngakupho kaMkhize bese ubuka mina ngokobuso. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was your #1 citizen here, quote unquote. Today must be very emotional and devastated. In your capacity as the mayor of the local municipality, how are you going to keep his legacy alive? Everything and anything around Ulundi is named after Umntwana. Many people say, well, it's not surprising because he helped build this.
Yes, indeed. The Prince of KwaPhindangene was the #1 citizen of Ulundi. Not actually #1 here in Ulundi. In fact, he's an icon, he's a liberation icon for the South Africa as a whole. So to keep his legacy here in Ulundi, we will continue developing Ulundi as his wish. We will continue as the municipality of Ulundi, his municipality, being corrupt-free.
Okay, Baba, thank you very much for that. But in terms of logistics, do you know what's the plan in terms of escorting Amabuto? Your small town will be on standstill exactly 30 minutes from now.
Okay. We did make arrangements with the business people of Ulundi. As we're going to be taking the remains of our leader here, the entire business of Ulundi will come to a standstill. Not because we gave them instructions, but because they saw it befitting that they should respect Umntwana. They thought of what Umntwana has done for them, especially during the riots of 12 July 2021, because Umntwana was amongst us here on the floor, on the ground, where we were actually trying to save Ulundi, because there were people who were trying to come and loot here in Ulundi.
Mama, thank you very much for time. We'll be catching up with you later on. Masego or Braden, please allow me, bear with us for a little bit. These visuals will be shaky. I would like to ask Bongam Kize to come with me so that we go to where Amabuto are. But I've just interviewed the mayor of Ulundi, Mayor Uhlajwayo here, who's joined Amabuto and other mourners who are coming here to pay their respects and also to fetch the remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Amabuto are singing here, waiting outside the mortuary as we are going to them. They just want to give you a sense of what is happening, as somber as it is. But remember, this will not be about sad moments alone, because they must show strength, they must comfort the devastated family of Buthelezi and KwaPhindangene. What you see here is just a fraction. It's a select group that will be accompanying the body and the remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Amabuto here are waiting for family members of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, which will be making its way from KwaPhindangene to fetch the remains of the departed elderly leader of eNCA Freedom Party, the founder of eNCA Freedom Party. They will be accompanying the family, showing support, but also they are basically executing the their role as amabutho, because they need to come and show their last respects, pay their last respects to their traditional prime minister. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was the traditional prime minister to the Zulu monarch and the nation. Ordinarily, he would join them in a number of ceremonies where they sing and they dance and they do everything. I see here there are also princes that have come here, members of the Zulu royal family have come here to join, and they are part of this because Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was Unduna Zulu. What you are seeing now, Bongam, is showing you two members of the royal family, Abantwana Basendlunkulu here, who are joining Amabutho and family members of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. I think for now what we can do is to just take it back to you while we wait for more Amabutho and members of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's family who will be coming here to fetch the remains. Once there's been some movement this side, we will pick it up and we will run with it. But I can tell you that it's going to be a very long drive from Ulundi town to eMahlabathini, KwaPhindangene.
Thank you very much, Spamandla. Spamandla, thank you very much for that. We are here at the gate of KwaPhindangene. You're quite correct. We can see the police vehicles now arriving, and hopefully you can see those visuals. A couple of traffic police vehicles arriving here KwaPhindangene. As we know, and as you've said, Amabutho, where you are at the eNCA funeral parlor, are waiting for the rest of the members of the family, a select delegation of family members who will be led by this convoy of the traffic police. There's 5 vehicles inside KwaPhindangene. They'll be leaving here shortly, of course, making their way down to where you are, as Pamanda, making their way down to eNCA funerals parlor, where they will then, of course, pick up the mortal remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi to bring it back here where we are. You can see the gate through which his mortal remains will then come in for his last journey or last rites by the family. And there's more vehicles now coming from eNCA. As you said, we expect that they are bringing Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi, who's now come to pick up the rest of the family members. They'll then be making their way out of the home here on their way down to Ulundi, to the funeral parlor. So there you have now the visuals of the funeral parlor. I understand the lady who's just opened there, if you can see the visuals, is the owner of eNCA. She's parked outside and coming in. And we're still expecting, as you said, as Pamanda, Prince Zuzifa and the other grandsons who were there to come back here to get the family. And it's a very solemn moment. It's a very somber moment. But the traffic vehicles are here now to pick up the rest of the family members who will be making a convoy of more than 5 vehicles all the way back to the funeral parlor. Now, we understand from what we've been told by the family and cultural experts that eNkosi, as Buthelezi was a eNkosi of the Buthelezi clan, cannot be brought back home for the last rites before 2 o'clock. Now, if you look at the time where we are now, it's about 20 past 1, and then we'll then be expecting them to make this way quicker as they go down. But as Pamanda reported a short while ago, although it's not too far where we are, KwaPhindangene, to the center of Ulundi, where eNCA funerals parlor is, it's going to be a longer journey coming back. And inside here, We also have a delegation of Amabutho, and also on the road outside the gate, as well as that group of select Amabutho who were singing there a short while ago with Spamandla Goge. Now, where we are, we understand there will be some Amabutho will come out here shortly from KwaPhindangene. We hope to bring you those visuals live, because they'll be leading the family out as it makes its way to the funeral parlor in Ulundi. So that moment, that very solemn moment, that very somber moment of saying farewell to Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, that solemn moment of the family is getting closer and closer. But part of it has already begun with Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi arriving earlier at the funeral parlor. Yeah. Mangoba Mkhunu is near the entrance, outside the main entrance as you come in here. Mangoba, if you can hear me, just tell us what is happening there while we're expecting the family any time now to be leaving KwaPhindangene to go to the funeral parlor. What's the latest, Mangoba?
Well, but then certainly more Amabutho are arriving here at the KwaPhindangene residence, of course, in preparation for the arrival of the body of the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. There have been quite a number of regiments that have been arriving here this morning. Earlier on, we saw regiments from the different villages and tribes here and clans here in the area, and some as far as Nongoma that have come here to pay tribute to Mntwana KwaPhindangene, who was not only the chief of the Buthelezi clan, but also the traditional prime minister of the AmaZulu nation, and many of those Amabutho coming here singing Amahubo in remembrance and also in honor of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and of course praising the role that he had played in the Zulu nation, saying that this was a custodian of the culture of the Zulu nation, who had a pivotal role to play as far as the issues of the royal family are also concerned. You recall, but then, that Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi had in fact been one of the longest serving prime ministers in the Zulu nation, having served under 3 monarchs, and including the current and incumbent monarch, King Misizulu kaZwelithini. So this is a befitting honor for a man of such a stature to the Zulu nation, as we see those Amabutho who have gathered here this afternoon, and really in celebration and in honor of the life that Prince Mangosuthu lived. They say that they are not here to mourn the death of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, but rather to celebrate the life of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And I can tell you that there are also throngs of supporters that are outside here of the main gate here to KwaPhindangene, who have also come from the different areas to come and pay tribute to the family, and of course to see for themselves the chief of the Buthelezi clan, and as well as the AmaZulu traditional prime minister arriving here at home ahead of the send-off, the special funeral category 1 that is going to be held here at the area of Ulundi tomorrow. And of course, we've also seen quite a number of soldiers and SANDF officers here preparing for the arrival of Mntwana KwaPhindangene. Also, they were seeing rehearsals for the official ceremony that will be happening here in this area tomorrow. We've seen also security being beefed up outside of the gate, and this is to ensure that only a selected number of people and Amabutho are the ones that are able to get inside here. They've pleaded with many of the mourners not to come to this area today, saying that they want to ensure that the families afforded time to be able then to mourn Mntwana KwaPhindangene. They explained earlier on when we spoke to Prince Mangosuthu, who was saying that it will be quite a somber occasion for the family, so they want to be afforded that time to be able to mourn and grieve as a family before Mntwana KwaPhindangene is then planted tomorrow. But as you can see, these are all Amabutho that have gathered here to come and pay tribute to Mntwana. Baba, ake ngikubuze nje baba ukuthi njengamabutho nizothini lapha, nizeleni baba, kuthini kunina njengoba Mntwana KwaPhindangene sobuya nje?
Baba,
Ngizelela mina uNkosi mina ngoMasibuko umshana wakhe uShembe ngoMasibuko la kwaJikazi mina ngizele lapha ubuhlungu ngoba ngazi imva nephambili ngoba ngajele uShembe endaweni lapha ngikhona zonke indawo mfowethu zonke indawo lapha ngisebenza khona bengisebenze eGoli ngibe uyokhuza impi angazi mbani ukhuza impi manje kodwa ngiyacela ukuthi Shenge beka kulowo muntu isiqoqo sakho buyiso uphinde futhi Shenge umnike igunya lakho ngoba bekuwo ophethe finish ngiyabonga.
Okay, thank you very much, Baba. Well, one of the Amabutho here speaking to us saying that they're here to pay tribute to Shenge and also to mourn with the family. And earlier on, we also spoke, as we hand over to you, Brother Dan, to the son of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, Prince Zuzifa, who just explained how overwhelmed they've been as a family, really, with the people and the mourners that have been coming here to the homestead. Of course, speaking also about the legacy of his father, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and this is what he had to say.
We are feeling, very grateful to start with. So much emotion, so much outpouring of love, and over Umdwan. We just are trying to make sure we have met with the soldiers, as we all know. This is a category where the military is involved. We have had meetings, Zianda, with the military. We've had a meeting with the police, because we as a family appreciate so much that relation. At the end of the day, we just want him to be sent in the most appropriate, deserving manner, and we want as little chaos as possible. Actually, no chaos at all. He was a man of order, so we want really to do exactly as he would have wanted to conduct this funeral to be conducted. Thank you very much, Mangoba Mkhunu. Just outside the main entrance at the top of the hill of KwaPhindangene, which is the home of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. The vehicle in black, the black vehicle you are seeing now, as Nkanyiso Mdlalose brings it live to you, is the vehicle that's bringing back inside the Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi, the son of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. They are trying to arrange here at the entrance the movement of vehicles to make sure that the way will be open shortly, as you hear a siren and alarm going off, a vehicle trying to make its way there. They are making maneuvers to enable Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi to go inside. There is a very important process this, because other vehicles cannot go in now in front of Prince Zuzifa by tradition, and he's in that big BMW. They need this Jeep that you are seeing at the gate there to make its way out, to try and allow the vehicle that you saw a short while ago, Masiho, that's bringing back Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi here after he was at the funeral parlor yesterday. As Pamandla Goke showed us and told us, spoke to him, that he was there to dress Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, his father. A very somber moment indeed, as we all know, when you've lost a loved one. When that moment comes of the dressing of that in the funeral, it's never an easy task at all. It fell today on to Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi. The way seemingly now is open, as you can see, and there's movement as well from some members of the IFP and a member of Amabutho there. They are talking to the vehicles to make sure that the way is open. So as we are live here at the gate, this is the gate that leads into the yard of KwaPhindangene, and now the way is open. You can see the vehicle is moving in. This BMW is carrying Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi, as I just said a short while ago. Now his task, from what Pamanda explained a little bit earlier, is now to come back, brief the family about him completing the task of preparing the body of his father, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and they then will pick up the family members. There are 5 vehicles that are from Itebulethu that arrived earlier, like minibuses, who will then be picking up the designated delegation. plus we've also seen a number of extra vehicles coming from eNCA. By the way, eNCA funerals have also handled, I understand, they handled the funeral of Isilo Samabandla, King Goodwill Zelutini, when he passed on. It was the same funeral parlor that handled the Zulu King's service. And today they are here handling the funeral service of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. So we'll wait and see what's going to happen here behind me, and shortly there is Prince Zuzifa there getting out of the vehicle. He's arrived and walking there with another family member. He's going inside the home, and then after that there'll be a briefing, I guess, with the rest of the members of the family. The police vehicles are already here, who will be escorting the convoy of vehicles that will leave here shortly, making their way down to the mortuary itself, to the funeral parlor itself, where now we know that the mortal remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has been prepared by his son, Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi, who's just arrived back. So we're waiting for that moment. We actually don't know yet who will be going down with the delegation. We can make assumptions that traditionally it will include some of the elders of the family, and already we know that Prince Zuzifa will be one of those family members, and likely the daughter, maybe. We are not really sure, but generally this very difficult task will be left, in this case of eNCA, will be left to the men of the clan to perform. It's a very tough moment. So as we are here live, waiting for them to leave, we anticipate it to be shortly, because from the interviews we've done, Masiho, talking to different cultural experts as well, eNCA is never brought back home before midday. So midday is like a cut-off time. And the family yesterday, in the person of Dr. Beguyise Buthelezi, said that they anticipate that the mortal remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi will be brought back here after 2 o'clock. We are already slowly inching to 2 o'clock. The journey on the road from Ulundi to here is not a very long journey. It's not a very long distance, rather, but the journey will be long today, because along the route, Mabuto will be accompanying his mortal remains, leaving the funeral parlor, making their way along the road, and then coming up here. There's also the military band we saw earlier, was practicing earlier a few hours ago. Plus, there's also a group of Mabuto that Umangoba was talking to. So along the route as well, when we were driving up here a few hours ago, we also saw that early groups of members of eNCA Freedom Party, the party that Ushenge founded in the 70s, and he led for some 44 years before handing over the reins to Velenkosini Hlabisa, who is the current president. I'm seeing there in the background, I think that's Mr. Mngwango, who is also a senior leader of the IFP, but he's also the mayor of KwaNongoma, and he's here as well today. So some of these senior leaders as well of the party are here to join the family, to accompany and support in whatever way is regarded. That's Mr. Mngwango there in your visuals, talking to the police and the officials there, and looking at their watches. I think they are indicating about the timing perhaps of this. We don't know the exact timing. In fact, yesterday Dr. Beguyise Buthelezi, I tried to get the timing. He said, but then we can't give you crisp times. We are not in a position to give you crisp times, and because the situation is an intersectionality of all sorts of things that are happening. There is a group of the 3 Amabutos are arriving here. We anticipate they'll be joining the others who are already here. We saw them a little bit earlier, and as Mr. Mngwango is now leaving here, he's gone into a vehicle, just for us to get to understand what would be happening. We'll find out shortly, just to find out from them if you can spare us a moment just to talk to us very quickly. We'll see. One of our colleagues, Uzama, is trying, Masiho, to to see if Mr. Mngqo can just say a few words before he leaves here, as we try and give a sense to our viewers, to everybody at home, what is really going to be happening here. We do, of course, understand from the request of the family that they wanted a very solemn day and private space today. It's going to get even more solemn after the body, the mortal remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has arrived. And so we're expecting the mayor of Zululand, KwaNongoma, the mayor of KwaNongoma, Mr. Mngqo, to talk to us shortly. And they've agreed, so he's just going to give us a few words to tell us what we can anticipate to be happening. Meanwhile, there's still movement, as you can see there at the gate from the live visual. So a lot of activity as they're getting ready, planning to make sure that everything happens properly, and then we will take it from there. And then I'm going to be joined now by Mr. Mngqo, who is the mayor of KwaNongoma. He's agreed to talk to us very briefly, and we will find out exactly what is happening. He'll tell us from his perspective as a senior leader of the IFP as well, and he's been inside there with the family, what we should really be expecting now. Mr. Mngqo, good afternoon, sir. Yeah, thank you for just talking to us very, very briefly. You were inside the home for quite some time. We understood from the family yesterday it is a solemn day today. They requested really for them to be given the space. We are waiting, of course, now for the mortal remains of KwaPhindangene to be brought from the mortuary. The family will be going down there. What other information you can share with us just now?
Except to confirm what you have just said, that preparations are actually very in advanced stage right now for the family to go down to the mortuary to actually fetch the prince. The clergy is already there, and there will be a small prayer, short prayer here, and then after which then the motorcade will actually go down to the mortuary. And already down there in the mortuary, members of the regiments are there already, waiting to give Umntwana the kind of respect that he deserves. And along the road, there are also multitudes of people that have actually lined up the street, also wanting to wave goodbye for the last time to the prince.
Yeah, we saw them gathering very early on as well today. Just a short while ago, we saw Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi coming back from performing a very somber task of preparing the mortal remains, the body of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And just broadly, it is a sad time, but Buthelezi was also eNCA, so we celebrate his life as well. But how is the family holding up today?
Well, I think the outpouring of condolences and also of support from all walks of life, I think that is what actually is sustaining them as the family, and that is actually makes them to actually be able to come to terms with this actually loss that they have suffered as a family. And also us as the IFP, we also have lost the leader and the founder of the organization. So it's still very difficult to all of us to come to terms with the reality that he is no more.
Yeah. You are a deputy secretary of the IFP, and he is no more. It's a big loss for you, for the party, because for 44 years he was at the helm after founding it. From a legacy perspective, we've been asking this question to everybody. As you've been interacting with the family, as you get ready to bid him farewell as well, what's top of mind for you?
For me personally, I have actually lost a father. You see, my father actually passed on when I was only 11 years, and throughout my life I've never known any other father other than him. He's actually been instrumental in shaping the kind of life and the kind of person that I am. So to me personally, I've lost a father, but also I've lost a leader who actually has shaped my political, outlook and my political thinking, because I've worked closely with him for more than 40 years now. So it's a big loss. But on the other hand, he has taught us how to lead, and what servant leadership is all about.
What are those lessons that you will carry forward in honoring his legacy?
Well, one of the values that he taught us was selflessness, and also work for the people, putting people first, and also to work and to do whatever we are doing with integrity, and the host of other things which are too numerous for me to actually mention here because of time.
Yeah. Are you going to be joining the delegation now, coming to go and fetch his mortal remains back home?
Oh yes, I am, but I'm going to be going in front to see whether things are ready down there. And I've been toing and froing, coordinating the whole activities that are taking place today.
Yeah, we're going to have to let you go because you have to, as you said, you have to go back down there to get ready, because as we see, the police are getting ready to lead the motorcade out. Thank you very much. Our condolences.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's Albert Mngwango. He's a deputy secretary of the IFP. He also is the mayor of KwaNongoma. He's been around here quite a lot. Masigo, as he was explaining, is a senior member of the party. He's been working with Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, or under Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, for 40 years. So he's lost a father figure, he's lost a leader. But there's a task that has to be carried out, and it looks like he and other members of the IFP are doing it to the best of their ability before tomorrow's official funeral. You are seeing the visual there. The vehicle of the police has moved forward a bit, and we are also hoping to be speaking to a poet shortly soon. Masigo Inyosi Umdletshe. He's going to be sharing with us more about Prince Mangosuthu's mother, Princess Magogo, who was the daughter of Solomon Dinizulu. But for now, we are seeing some movement inside there. Another police vehicle making a move. From what we understand, Amabutho will come out, leading the family out from here as well, before making the way outside KwaPhindangene and going down to the funeral parlor. There is some movement there, and as you can see from the camera work that's being done, we are going to be making our way inside to be able to bring you those visuals and what is happening there. We're going to go inside the yard. The family is about to walk out. So Mdlalose Mdlalose is going to have to follow me. We apologize for the movement of our camera now to our viewers. Is a bit shaky, but it's what we are trying to do you live here at KwaPhindangene. We have to go inside just for you to be able to get a sense exactly what will be happening. Once again, just apologies there for that movement. Another vehicle from eNCA Funerals now making its way out, and we think the police as well are going to move forward as they get ready. We're walking into the yard of KwaPhindangene, the home of Umntwana KwaPhindangene, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. The family is getting ready shortly to make its way down to the funeral parlor as we heard from Albert Mngwango, the secretary, the deputy secretary of the IFP. He's gone down there to make sure things are fine. Regiments are down there. Amabutho, as we saw from Spamandla Goge Ele, they're also up the road here outside the main gate at the top of the hill as well. We anticipate inside here when they will be coming out. They will also be led by a small group of Amabutho as they lead the family out of this home. So we are going to wait here now and take a position here as more Amabutho now are also arriving here. Another small group of Amabutho coming into the yard of KwaPhindangene. The cars are getting ready, as we've seen. The police cars are there, and the vehicles. There's 5 of those minibus vehicles lined up here, plus a number of others, and a group of people have gathered, and one of them standing there in this first vehicle there, Ngi Buthelezi, he's a great-grandson. He's wearing a black and white T-shirt with IFP and the pictures of his great-grandfather. He spoke the other night in an interview with Spamandla Goke right here inside this home. So they are also waiting. Those are some of the family members of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. So we're going to stay live here, Masigo, as we try and bring you the very latest about what is happening, and then as soon we'll keep tabs of the family. As soon as they leave, we'll follow this procession for you out of the gate. And then we know that along the route down, they'll be saluted, as we've heard, by other regiments at the top of the gate, Amabuto. I'm not sure yet what the military band will be doing outside there, but there will be a procedure that will be happening there. And I assume we'll have to go to Mangoba at the time when they reach that part. So we show our viewers what will be happening outside the main gate. But for now, we are going to stay here as we bring you these visuals. Are family members here meeting, a group of Amabuto as well. We're just waiting now. It's a waiting game, really, literally, Masigo. And if you are connected with me, we can have a conversation, or you could also ask questions as well. We can interact while we wait. My suggestion will be we stay here for now, and then when they leave, we'll be following them out, and we'll ask Mangoba to pick up on the other side. We continue to bring rolling live coverage for our viewers of this solemn moment, and then of course later on, of course, Pamandla Goke will pick up with us in Ulundi outside Iceboletu funeral parlor, the same parlor that did the funeral of Isilo Samabandla, Zulu King, Goodwill Zulitini, and we will then see now what they will be doing. Then we'll pick it up there. Masigo.
I actually do just have a quick question for you, Dan. I just saw a statement from the Nat Joints, that's the SAPS, after that sweep that they did at the regional stadium, the Prince Mangosuthu Regional Stadium, where the official Category 1 funeral service is expected to take place tomorrow. And Nat Joints is saying they are expecting about 20,000 mourners. But I do remember the family during the course of the week announcing that regional stadium has capacity for only 15,000. And maybe you can just give us a picture, Dan, of all the people that you're seeing arrive there. Does it look like 20,000 or 15,000 capacity is going to be enough? I mean, the royal family alone, as you were showing us there, is quite a few people.
Yeah, you're quite right, Masigo. The capacity of the Prince Mangosuthu Memorial Stadium in Ulundi is about 15,000. It cannot take more. And from a security perspective, with the likes of our own President Matamela Ramaphosa expected to deliver the eulogy, and some foreign dignitaries like former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo to be there, you cannot take a risk. So they're going to have to make sure they manage that capacity very well. What we understood from the IFP briefing yesterday, they've built an overflow area that could take up to 10,000 people in that precinct. So would expect plus minus 25,000 people. Elsewhere, they have asked the IFP to enable other people through media like ours, who will be broadcasting the funeral live, to be able to watch the proceedings live and pay their respects wherever they are. You cannot risk an overcrowding, not just from a security perspective in terms of the dignitaries, but also from a public safety perspective. They're very much aware of that. So we understand, Masigo, 15,000 will be the max inside that arena, the Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi Memorial Stadium here in Ulundi. There will be an overflow area that will be catering for up to 10,000 people. The rest will have to make do with watching elsewhere through the media like eNCA. And that's been the appeal as well as yesterday from the IFP. And here along the route, Masigo, earlier already, a few hours ago, we were seeing hundreds of people beginning to gather. You know, dozens here, dozen there in IFP clothing. I cannot tell you, of course, because guests were far away, how many would have been gathered along the route from outside the funeral parlor. But from what we heard from Spamandla Goke, besides that small group of selected Amabuto, the regiments there who will be accompanying the mortal remains and following the hearse that will be carrying the mortal remains of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, there will be more and more people lining the streets of Ulundi, waving their final goodbye to Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And that's just one way, I guess, some of the people will be able to say goodbye to a man they've regarded as a father figure, a man, as we've heard over the last few days, who's contributed quite a lot to the development of Ulundi itself, and a man who's contributed, according to many of the people we've spoken to, including family members, who's contributed to the education of thousands of young men and women here in the province, and of course who's led a party which many today will regard as a formidable force in the politics, especially of KwaZulu-Natal. So Masigo, that's really what I understand capacity-wise is will be happening then when it comes to the stadium. So we're inside the yard here, waiting. You can see still those live visuals that Nkanyiso Mdlalose is bringing to you. Family members, they are also waiting here. As we saw earlier, Masigo, we saw Prince Zuzifa coming back. Joseph Tubile is coming back from the funeral parlor. He's inside there briefing the family. The family itself now would have decided who's going to be going now and following this motorcade down to the funeral parlor. My colleague JJ has just joined us here inside the yard. JJ, come, let's just get your perspective at this hour. You've had quite a busy morning as well, and I think you've interviewed even Prince Zuzifa Buthelezi a little bit earlier, and that will be broadcast a little bit later. We are now inside the yard. We've noticed the somberness and the solemn now mood that is happening. We've seen a group of Amabuto being here. The family, as you can see behind us, they're getting ready, and more people are coming. The police are ready now to move. We're just waiting. And you've been driving up a short while ago. What did you see on the street? Can we just start there?
Look, afternoon, Brother. There's a somber mood across the byways, and we've got a lot of Amabuto along the whole way to the mortuary and back. So clearly a sign of the guard of honor that we've been anticipating. So they are all waiting for this motorcade to make its way and back. And secondly, it's a somber mood, but also a slightly politically festive mood for the IFP, because you could almost say it's a rally on the move.
Yeah, and as you said, there's more Amabuto regiments. Just a short while ago, if you were seeing another group of them arriving here, and we expect them to be leading here, the exit, let's call it that, the exit for the family. So it's a festive mood. As they say, eNCA's life is being celebrated. Absolutely. The family, of course, has lost a loved one. We have to respect their request for privacy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, there are rituals that the family would want to do after the body arrives. We are not part of that. We have, as you have committed yesterday to the spokesperson of the family, that we will respect that. But of course, we will be talking, particularly throwing forward to tomorrow, straight after this particular, in a sense, part of today's program, to say how does the official funeral, going to fit into all of this. So what we're seeing today, multiply that by 100 for tomorrow in terms of the Mabuto coming through and so on, because it's 95 years. For those who love him, it's a celebration of life. Yeah,
as we are talking, JJ, we're showing visuals of some family members. I think they're being called inside, or they're going to be gathering there. There must be an explanation. Nkanyiso Mdlalose is showing our viewers in the back there. So, I mean, preparations are really getting into top gear now for a departure from here to the funeral parlor. You interviewed Prince Zuzifa this morning without giving to us too much. How is he?
Look, I think he's a very calm kind of character. We're very, very impressed by his demeanor. Brother, when you lose a family member, especially head of a family, everything is on your shoulders. I mean, for the fact that he even came to talk to us at the museum was in itself an honor that he made that time to talk. We decided.
Sorry to cut you there. We're going to see now Mabuto inside Masigo. I hope you're still with us. and we are getting closer there. We're going to call the Ulundi, Ukaya Ndwande just told us to come closer. We're just going to hear what they are singing. This is the beginning of that journey to go out, to go and fetch the mortal remains of Prince Mangosuthu. Amabutho are here. Let's bring these visuals live to you, and let's listen now. They are busy preparing. I hope you can still hear me. They are practicing ihubo la Buthelezi that they will sing to lead the family out.
Go back.